What's up, team? Welcome to Video Makers United. For those who don't know me, my name is Mark and I'm the videographer and editor behind Katie's Corner, which means I'm definitely used to being on the other side of the camera. So please subscribe, hit the bell, and smash that like button, and I'll be sure to get you more videos. Today's the first ever Trend Talk Tuesday, where I'm going to research YouTube trends and help you come up with video titles. I'm also going to research topic ideas given from our Facebook group. If you'd like to join our Facebook group, where hundreds of creators help each other with YouTube growth hacks and tips, the link is in the description. Now let's get researching. Okay, so for trending videos, the first place we can look is in the trending tab on YouTube. And over here we can see all the top trending videos currently. And we can also look up here and narrow them down by category if we want. So the first one I notice is with Zoom. And I don't know if this would be a good video to copy per se, with having to have twins on Zoom, but we can use the term Zoom as one of our starting points. So the first place I would go is to a site called Morning Fame. You do need an invitation to join this website, but I have an invitation code in the description below. It also gives you 1 free month trial. Once you've joined Morning Fame and tied it to your YouTube channel, you would go here to login and then keyword research. They're asking which topic we have in mind. So here I'm going to type in Zoom and see what comes up. Okay, and these right here are the grades that we're getting for different criteria, which I'll show you in a minute. Generally speaking, you want them to all be D's or higher, and it's comparing it to something called a gateway video, which is kind of like the starting point. It's kind of like your way in to get ranked among the other videos. We can see there's common keywords for larger channels, which is probably not going to apply to most of us, unfortunately. And here's some uncommon keywords, and these are good for smaller channels. So we can take a look at some of these. Several how-tos, so tutorials. Well, this one here has a couple of A's and a 72 search volume that's ranked from 0 to 100. So we can check this one and see what we get. Okay, actually updated a little bit, so it's actually a search volume of 83. And at least for Katie's Corner channel, we have D's, C's, and a B. And these are the videos that are currently ranking for the search term how to use Zoom Cloud Meeting app. So another thing we can do from this point on is go back to YouTube, and then since how to sounds like a good option, we can say how to, let's see if Zoom, how to Zoom meeting, maybe how to use Zoom. And this right here is actually from a website called vidIQ, and I have a link in the description as well for that. And this will give you search volume as well as the competition. So obviously you want volume to be high up here, but you also want the competition to be relatively a little bit lower in general. So you have more of a chance to actually rank in search. So 64 is actually not too bad. And that's just for the term how to use Zoom. So I know there are a lot of kid channels in our group. So one option we can look for is how to use Zoom with, okay, well maybe with friends, just maybe kids are using them with friends. Okay, so we have a smaller number here, 31. So YouTube search box is actually a great place to find something that people are searching for as well, because it does populate with things that people are searching. So how to use Zoom. So that would probably be a pretty good starting place. And then from there, what we could do is go back to Morning Fame, how to use Zoom, and just search that one and see what we get. Okay, so a couple of E's, a C and a D, and 78 here. So sometimes they're a little bit conflicting as to which one might be the better title, but we have had some success with some videos that actually did have a couple of E's in there, and we got alongside some pretty big videos, which really helped us. So if we decide on how to use Zoom as most of our title, we can go to the next step. And then over here, we can type in the description. Right now it's an F as our relevance, and of course, as we add in the description and tags and everything like that, this letter will definitely go higher. In the first sentence of the description, we want to reuse the title. So we could say something like, how to use Zoom with my friends. And then of course you should go a little bit longer than that, but it already gave us the 20% out of 20 because we reused the title. So the nice thing here is that they've given us a lot of suggestions for the tags, and these are the ones that are already put onto the list of tags for you. So if you don't like one, you could just go ahead and click it out, and you can look for let's see, how to use Zoom. And you can put a little plus there too, and that'll give you long tail search terms. So a lot of these are already listed here. How to use Zoom for students. So depending on what your video is going to be about, if it's not going to be, let's say, for video conferencing, then you probably want to get rid of that. And notice it did not actually take away from our 40% achieved. So right now we're in pretty good standing. And even though our overall relevance is only a D, of course we want that to be higher in general. It might be too competitive for our channel, just because everyone's using Zoom right now. But going down here, we can also clean up some of these. Video conference, conferencing, meeting, conference, virtual meeting. Okay. As far as that goes, that would be a pretty good start here. And again, for description, you definitely want to add in a little bit more here, whatever your video is specifically going to be about. Once you're done with that, you can copy these over. You can copy the clipboard, and then you can copy them over to YouTube. So back to trending videos. A lot of times they're going to be music videos, of course. So if you're going to do a parody, that might be something you can do. So quarantine might be a big search term at the moment. So let's see what happens when we type in quarantine. So there's movie, pronunciation, workout, playlist. Okay. So let's see what Morning Fame has to say when we go back to the topic and type in quarantine. Okay, so it looks like quarantine itself is probably a little too broad, but we can dig a little bit further. So let's say people, maybe they're playing games with their kids at home. So let's see if quarantine games comes up as pretty popular over here. Okay, well, the volume's relatively high. The competition's pretty low, so I think this is actually a pretty good one. So we'll go back to Morning Fame and try quarantine games and see what we come up with. Well, just that alone has 2 Ds, a C, and an A with an 84. Let's see if that updates here. That's actually pretty good. I think this would be a good one for someone to actually do. Keep in mind, though, that the Morning Fame and vidIQ is actually tied to our account, in this case, Katie's Corner. So these numbers are going to vary depending on the number of subscribers you have, your average number of views, the number of links and comments you get, and so on. Again, for the description, we want to reuse the video title. And whatever else you'd like to type here, of course, I would, again, make it a little bit longer than that. Okay, so already at a D relevance. Let's see if we can get that further up. Okay, so here we only have 4% out of 40% achieved for the tags, so there's definitely a lot of room here. Quarantine games, okay, that's a good one. Okay, now Dude Perfect is a different channel, of course, so I probably wouldn't use that. If you do make some TikToks, you could definitely use this as well to play online with friends. That might be a good one, so you can include that. And look, we're already at an A relevance, and we still have a little bit more we can do here. So the video games, unless we're playing those video games, you might get rid of those, and that did lower us a little bit here. Let's see what else. If you put a plus sign as well at the end, it'll give you some longer tail search terms. Okay, quarantine games with friends online. Okay, and we hit 100 right here, perfect. Okay, now we have an A relevance, which is great. So I think this is a really good video topic idea that someone in our group should definitely make this week. So now you've seen how I kind of look for different trends and use Morning Fame and vidIQ. So now I'm going to use the suggestions given in our Facebook group and see what sort of titles I can come up with for you guys. First up is bento box, especially in the quarantine period, and that's from Margaux Diary. So let's take a look for bento box. So we have some decent volume. The competition's a little bit high, so we have a 43 score here on vidIQ. Let's see if we type in quarantine with that. Okay, so that's a little bit lower. The competition's very low, but we also have, looks like here anyway, next to no volume. So, might not be the best title. Let's see if anything comes up. So, bento box. Okay, so kids is right here. Let's see if we have something here. Okay, 19, even lower. Let's try ideas. Okay, 14. I saw 4 kids. Let's see if that gives us something better. And then we'll jump into Morning Fame after this. Okay, also a little low. All right, well, let's see what Morning Fame has to say. Unfortunately, we have an F in here. The E might be okay. The F is a little too low here. Let's try with kids. Okay. So So a little bit better here. We do have a couple of E's, but we have an A for sure, which is our relevance, which is definitely important. Let's see what we can do with this one. Let's work with this and see what we get. A lot of times, even though that's the title that they're suggesting that you do, you can always put a little vertical line or something in between and add to it quarantine ideas. And it does lower our title a little bit, of course, because we changed it a bit, but that's okay because this is going to separate it from just titling it Bento Bots Kids. So when it comes to description, again, we want to reuse a lot of the title. Okay, so again, I would still go beyond this, add more to this description, but we have achieved our 20% here, so we're in good shape so far, and we already have a relevance of B. The tags right now are 24%, so there's definitely room to move here. Bento Bots. Okay, so Bento Bots itself wasn't even selected. If it's grayed out, that means that it's already in our list over here. So Bento Bots alone definitely should go up here. Okay, we're at 28%. Bento Bots for kids. Okay, another 7% there. Let's see what else we can come up with. Let's try the plus and see. Bento Bots. Okay, so if you end up doing some recipes, that would be good. Okay, we're up to 34% up here. Lunch ideas for kids. Okay, that might be perfect. Okay, we're going to add that. And notice also that there's a 500 character limit as well, and that's tied to YouTube. They only allow 500 characters, so right now they're telling us we're at 408. And if we do go over, it'll just be red, and then of course you'll have to just get rid of some, which again, some of these might not even be appropriate for us. For instance, if it's not vegetarian, we can get rid of that, or vegan, so that makes a little more room. Okay, Bento Bots making perhaps. So we're not really getting too much higher here. But I think overall we're in pretty good shape. We're up to 90%. We have an A relevance, and I think this will be a really good start. So we could copy all these onto the clipboard over here. And it's copied. So if we go back into YouTube, you can paste all of these into the tag area. The next one is from One Step at a Time DIY. And they're looking for beer or food tasting. So that's pretty broad topic, but let's see if we can come up with anything there. Let's just see what beer tasting alone will get us, and we'll kind of dig in from there. So we have an overall 43. Volume is kind of in the middle. Competition's a little bit high, but a pretty good start. We can see what videos are sort of populating here. So we have beer expert. Okay, and that's a pretty good idea. So they guess the cheap versus expensive beer, so it ends up being kind of like a bit of a game. It's definitely more entertainment than anything else, but you could definitely combine entertainment with education for something like this. Let's see what Morning Fame has to say. If we go back to the topics. Okay, so the first thing that's actually coming up is beer taste test. Let's see what that does. Okay, well, at least again, tied to our channel anyway, that has 3 Ds and an A with an 84, so that's actually pretty good as a starting point. So beer taste test, that alone, actually 37 is a little bit lower. The volume's not too bad. The competition is just a little bit high. So I think for that, what I would do is probably either make it a game kind of like the beer expert or this guy with blindfolding beer review. But yeah, so something that entices a person to click it with a good thumbnail and something in the title that gets you kind of curious as to what's going on. So let's choose this one to the next step. Let's see. Okay, again, we want to reuse the title in the first sentence here. The earlier the better. Okay, and again, still want to add to that, make it a bit longer, more descriptive. Okay, and then coming to the tags. So I noticed that beer taste test itself is not even listed here just yet. So I think that would probably be the best thing, and that is the highest right here. Okay. And we're already at an A relevance with 92%. That's really good, and we still have a little bit more room. So let's see if we can find anything else. Let's try the plus. Okay, so again, if you're making a game out of it, that would be a good idea here. Okay, we're at 38%. I mean, it's hard to beat that. So we're at 98% overall. Let's see if there's anything else that can take us to the very top. Okay, and again, depends on what your video is going to be about, but if it's like cheap beer taste test or something along those lines, or blind or one of these, whichever one fits best, we can choose that. And we're at 40% and we have hit 100% here, which means we're in really good shape. And what's cool here as well is that these are the videos that will populate under that search term. And you can upload your own thumbnail here to see how it looks in a smaller format against all the other, against the competition basically. So if yours stands out versus these other ones, you might have a pretty good shot of earning a lot more clicks than they are. Okay, next is from Cervantes Family Vlogs, and they asked for pranks, specifically TikTok pranks. Okay, well, TikTok may be a little bit difficult to rank for, especially with smaller channels, but let's see what we can find. Okay, well, right off the bat, 32 isn't terrible. Competition, as we kind of knew, was going to be pretty high. The volume is actually pretty decent. So let's see. They have funny pranks, best pranks. It seems like a lot of these will be compilations. So that might be something to consider, is if you have enough of them done on TikTok that you make your own compilation video as opposed to using other people's videos. Let's see what Morning Fame has to say. Let's try compilation. Okay, actually that's not too bad of a score. The 94 is very good. Relevance really high with A. Of course the E is a little bit low, but let's see what we can do with this. Let's see if there are any other suggestions as well. Well, since it's a family vlog, let's see if there's anything with parents. Okay, so here, they're already suggesting TikTok pranks to do on parents. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, pretty good scores, except the search volume is a bit low. So, definitely one to try if you prefer this. It just means that fewer people may find you. However, among the ones that do find you, you probably have a much better chance of being found from those people. And the gateway video is actually the top one here, the first one, meaning that's kind of your way in to these search results. So there might be a decent chance for that. Let's see what this one looks like on vidIQ. Okay, so 5 out of 100, that's pretty low. Let's go back to the pranks compilation. Okay, so a little bit at odds with each other. vidIQ is showing it to be a bit low with relatively no search volume for some reason. Tend to trust Morning Fame on this one. I think that's still pretty highly searched term. So this would be one to kind of experiment with. Of course, if you had a specific prank in mind, that might work, but it does seem that a lot of these are compilations, so that seems to be the way to go. Let's see if quarantine helps at all. No, okay. So the red X here means, even though our scores are better here, this means that the search volume is pretty much nothing, so definitely don't want to go that route. All right, well, this one might be a difficult one, especially for a smaller channel, but it seems like compilation is the way to go. And again, with a good title, maybe you add to this. Let's actually choose this and move to the next. Actually, well, there we go. Funny TikTok pranks compilation actually came up with a 96. We do have 2 E's here, but this one may be worth looking into. Okay, and again, we want the same first words in our description to match the title. One thing that YouTube does mention is that the description itself should read like full sentences. So you don't want to just copy a phrase or something from the title. You do want it to be something that could be read as a full sentence. Again, I would add some more to this, but we're already at a B relevance, and our tags. Well, okay, we have a lot of room to go with the tags. So the first thing I would look for is the exact title, up to 18%. Okay, so notice here it's in red. We're at 515 out of 500 characters, so we're going to have to get rid of some before we actually add. And these were already populated by Morning Fame. So there are a lot of these that we can get rid of, like ironic. I'm not sure what Lance 210 is. Unless there are memes involved, you want that out. Musically was the old app, of course. And these are all 0% anyway, so they weren't likely going to help. But this will free up a lot of the characters that we need. Okay, so let's see, we're at, okay, so we have more room here, 359 characters. Okay, so TikTok pranks compilation. All right, funny TikTok pranks compilation. And that matches the title, of course, so that's a big one. So again, we're approaching the 500 limit, so we can also go back and see if there's anything that doesn't work for us. Again, with the Musically, not so sure. People are really searching for that. Cringe, unless it is cringy. Okay, memes, I'm not so sure. Okay, and again, if it's not a duet, I would take that out. Okay, so we have an A relevance, 89%, so you can spend a little more time here and find a few more tags to put in for sure. But overall, we've done pretty well. And I'm sure we could get above 90% if we kept digging in a little bit more. Okay, and now we have taste challenges, and that's from Izzy and Lizzie. Okay, So again, pretty open-ended in terms of the subject. Okay, so one thing also to keep in mind is, you know, narrowing it down if you know specifically what you wanted the taste challenge to be about. So it could be about fast food, it could be blindfold. Seems like these have a mix of those. I know with Katie, we actually did a blindfold fast food challenge at one point. Let's see what blindfold taste challenge comes up with. Okay, 15, a little better. Let's see what happens with fast food challenge. Okay, only 13. Oh, actually there's Katie's video actually at the very top for this one. Let's try this and then we'll move to Morning Fame and see if they have any other ideas. Okay, only 7 for that. Taste challenge. Okay, let's try a blindfold and see if that gives us... Okay, well there's a taste test prank. Let's see if that combination actually gives us something. Okay, well there we go. So E a little bit low there, but again, our overall relevance could be as high as an A, and we have an 85 search volume, so that's actually pretty good. So for this one, clearly you could make some type of video where the person being blindfolded thinks they're taste testing something, and of course you prank them with something very different. It could be pretty funny. And the gateway video is actually just the second one, which means that gives a little bit of room to really jump in the middle here and to rank really well for this one. Okay, so let's run with this. As always, we want the description to match the title, and we want it in some sort of sentence form. So today I tricked my parents. Let's see if it's that way, the kid tricking the parents. Blindfold taste test prank. Okay, I would go on from there. But again, it's not only is it the same title, it's in the same order in terms of the words. So blindfold taste test prank. That's a good practice to put the same exact thing here. Blindfold taste test prank. And again, add some more to it. You don't want to use just the title. We're at 75%, we have an A rating already, and only 15% on the tag, so we have plenty of room to go. So the title again was blindfold taste test prank. I would do that as the first tag. There it is. Okay, let's see what others we have. Blindfold taste test food. That might be a good one. Again, I would look through the tags, make sure none of these need to be removed, like School of Rock. Not sure why that's there. Oreos official. Okay, so now we have plenty of space for new tags. Okay, so taste test prank, that might be a good one. All right, so we're at 98% and 38% out of 40. So you could probably find that extra 1 or 2% in here, but overall I think this is really good. So again, you would copy to the clipboard, and then when you go into YouTube under your tags, you can go ahead and paste all of those there, and they paste them in the order from the highest to the lowest. And last up is from ExplainedSimply. And they asked for a video of their son fishing, just amateur backyard kid fishing for fun. Okay, let's see what we can do with that. Let's just run with backyard fishing for kids and see what we get. Okay, so only a 9. Kind of expected the volume to be a little bit low. So let's see. Fishing in my backyard had 9,000 views from a couple of years ago. Okay, backyard fishing has a little bit better score, 25 here. But again, the volume seems to be pretty low. So again, from here, I'm going to go to Morning Fame, see what we can come up with. Okay, so one of the first ones that actually pops up is backyard fish pond. Let's see if that gets us anywhere. So not too bad. Again, we have an E here, but overall potential A with an 86 search volume. That's actually pretty good. I'm just curious. Let's see what happens if it was backyard fishing, how that looks. All right, not too bad. So pretty close on the score here. We do have another E here, but again, the relevance overall is an A. And since you mentioned backyard fishing specifically, I think we'll run with this. So we'll choose this one. Okay, another thing to do as well for these titles is to add something extra here. Again, it's going to lower our title score just a bit, usually about 3 or 4% every time, but something to entice someone to click on it, because backyard fishing just seems too generic. Biggest catch ever, something like that, something to draw people's attention, whatever you'd like to do there. So it did lower our score a bit, but we can make up for that, no problem. So again, we want this to be in sentence format of some sort. Okay. Again, I would add some more to this, but we did hit our 20%, so we're in good shape. All right, as far as tags, I would again start with the original title, which was the backyard fishing. Let's just get that. Okay. So backyard fishing pond, that might work. Fishing videos. Okay, we're already at our 40% actually. We were over the limit by just a handful of characters, so we can go in, of course, get rid of some, and we should be getting rid of these anyway that don't match our video. So unless you're in Florida, probably get rid of that. Unless it's fly fishing, probably get rid of that, and so on. And since these are 0%, it should not be lowering our overall score, even within the tags. So we're still at our 40%. And now we have 417 out of 500 characters. So again, a little more space, if anything makes more sense here. Otherwise, I think that's a pretty good haul for our tags. And again, copy the clipboard, take it over to YouTube and paste it in. All right, well, I hope that was helpful for everyone. I plan on doing this pretty much every Tuesday from here on out. So if you have ideas, again, please join our Facebook group. The link is in the description, and you can give any ideas that you want for topics. I'll help research them for you and give you the proper titles and tags and everything. And also, I have links to vidIQ as well as Morning Fame. And especially with Morning Fame, you do need an invitation link. So please use the one below. It helps us out as well. I'll see you guys next week and in the Facebook group even before that. And as always, let's grow team.